All right, man, we are back for another episode of the Music Retail Show. And man, today's a great episode because we are jumping across the pond here to John Priest at Peach Guitars. He is the company director, CEO of Peach Guitars. Man, John, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We've heard a lot about your store. Man, see a lot of it on social media, and you guys have a pretty good thing going over there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we've been on a nice kind of steady growth over the last few years, but the last sort of 18 months we've really kind of hit our stride and kind of taken several areas of the business up to the next level. So it's been an amazingly busy time at the strangest of times, as we all know now. So
yeah, absolutely. And I man, we'll jump into a lot of that, but man, I gotta say the room behind you is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this is the video studio. If any of you guys out there have seen a lot of the YouTube stuff that Jack does for us, it's normally filmed in this room. We're actually at the moment we've just taken on another unit next door, and we're building a much bigger recording studio for just to enhance our YouTube stuff, our social media, and just so that we can offer some of the best, most natural kind of demos out there. And what we'll see in the long term is more demos in a band context, basically. So we'll have, an in-house drummer and a bass player, so you can kind of get a bit more of a better feel of how things cut through in a mix and that kind of thing. We're just trying to kind of slowly make the changes for the right reasons, but we always do things probably a bit too slowly, but we try to do it well. That's kind of how we like to do it.
Yeah, sure. And I get that, man. Always have been into guitars, always have been into pedals. Man, I remember looking at pedals on eBay like in 97, 98, going, man, this is kind of cool. You could buy them online. There weren't a whole lot of demo stuff back then, but getting into, hearing people demo pedals just isolated, it's kind of cool, but it only gets you to a certain point. You want to hear things in context.
Yeah. I mean, when I kind of first got into the industry and we started kind of taking things a bit more serious, I would be looking at Harmony Central, looking at people's reviews of pedals and stuff like on there. Because, back then, we only really had, Full Tone were one of the first people to start making boutique pedals. And back when I worked for the guy that used to own Peach Guitars, a guy called Derek Peachy, we were the first people to sell Full Tone in the UK. So, and it blew me away that Mike Fuller had these demos on his website of, like full band demos of him playing the pedals and stuff like that. And I always really, really loved that stuff. And obviously it's a very different world today now where everybody does, their own thing in their bedroom, right through to on stage demos and all that stuff. But it's great. I love hearing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and in fact, actually, I've got a Full Drive 2 pedal I bought in 98, man. And, it's got the signature in there and, it's before the MOSFET and, man, it's got the signature and the date in there. And I'll hold on to that pedal forever. So it's still
they sound great. Yeah, they are really good. I mean, they were the first guys, I guess, to really take a Tube Screamer style circuit and adapt it with a lot of changes, less of a mid-hump kind of sort of sound and stuff. But I know there's been tons of different revisions and that. But those original first the blue full drives that we used to sell were just great. They sounded so good.
Sounds great with a Les Paul into that, straight into a Marshall. I'm telling you, that it's a great sounding pedal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, man, but very cool. So you guys have adapted. Now, I have to admit, I'm looking at your website, and it's you make a pretty big claim here. UK's biggest showroom. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty big feat you conquered there. So.
Yeah, so what we did was we basically had our little original store back in a place called Braintree, still in Essex, where we're based. And to be honest, we'd been looking for years to expand and find the right place to do it. And we'd been looking at several different venues and other buildings of the right place. And we were happy to stay kind of in, a similar radius to where to where kind of we were based already, but it just had to be the right place. And it probably took us, probably I would say, about 5 years to find the building that we're in now. And when we first came and looked at it, me and my dad, who's he's the partner in the business as well, my dad Alan, we just came over and we looked at the building. We both just looked at each other and we were like, yeah, this is gonna be it. You know, this is really gonna take us to the next level. And my dad had this amazing vision for doing the big kind of the wooden Western saloon kind of look. And you know, and we worked with our great carpenter friends who did it all for us, and we managed to achieve this amazing look. And obviously the showroom, you know, up until March of last year was the focal point, you know, of our business. It was the kind of our calling card, as well as obviously what we do with our online operations. We were the ultimate kind of destination store, you know, so if people would travel 3 or 4 hours, you know, you'd never kind of, you know, every time someone came through the door and opened the doors and looked into the saloon and just went that.
Yeah, sure.
You lost the you know, the joy of seeing that every time. You know, you'd see it 3 or 4 times every day, and even when people were coming back, they'd be like, "Oh wow, just, you know, I'd forgotten how awesome it looked." But obviously, you know, a lot has changed kind of in this year now, and you know, as the store has become less of the focal point, obviously, because we've all had to be closed for so long and we've had to adapt the business a lot. But you know, you still walk through there even now myself, you know, when I look up there and I just think, well, you know, we've come quite a long way.
Yeah. And you mentioned March of last year. So obviously everybody knows that's kind of when things just kind of, well, just hit the fan. So you know, I've talked to quite a few music stores, and so I'm extremely interested in hearing how you guys dealt with last year, but just kind of walk through, you know, here we shut down here in Tennessee, like March 22nd. 23rd, something like that. And that's when everybody just kind of went home and everybody decided what to do. And then we figured out, you know, okay, can we work with a skeleton crew and kind of work our way back? What did you guys find yourself doing there at the end of March? What happened?
Well, it was pretty much the same kind of time, because I remember watching Boris Johnson, now Prime Minister, on the Monday night. And guess what? You know, on the Monday night, I was sitting there with my wife and we was watching the press conference, and they were all, you know, telling us that, you know, everything was going to go into lockdown, and, you know, it was very unclear about who was going to have to close. So, you know, all the WhatsApp messages were going between the guys at the shop, and we were like, you know, what are we going to do? You know, what's the plan? Who's going to work from home? Can we still open? We don't really know. But the thing was, as well, so I was sat there with my wife, Emma, and we were looking at each other, and we were due to move house on the Friday.
Oh, no.
As well.
Yeah.
But we still managed it. Yeah. We still, you know, our removal company backed out the next day, but somehow we still managed it anyway. So we still moved on the Friday of that week. But yeah, I mean, we had to make a lot of big changes quickly, and we kind of had to adapt. But, you know, a lot of the changes came gradually, and we had to adapt, you know, with the ways that we operated the business. But the biggest change was, and the hardest thing that we found to adapt to, and gearing up for the changes, was probably, let's just say, our ratio for online versus in store was maybe 70% online with 30% in store sales. Okay. But the 30% is maybe you know, a lot of high end purchases.
Yeah, sure.
So the 70% was made up of a lot lower, maybe sub, you know, £2,000, you know, $2,500 sort of price point kind of purchases. So we went from having that to gearing up to, you know, almost going to 150% business, all going out on the website. So doing that with less staff and, you know, all that extra sales and turnover wasn't easy, you know, and there were times when, you know, there was us, you know, the guys, the guitar techs, the guys that work in the warehouse. It was really stressful and it was really, really hard, but we were so happy, you know, that we were managing to stay in business, and people were putting their hands in their pocket and trusting us to deliver, you know, really good quality instruments to them and pedals. And, and trusting us to with their hard-earned money. So
Yeah.
it was tough, and there was times when, there was more orders coming through, and me and the our head guitar tech Tom, we were like, oh no, how can we process these orders?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, customers' expectations do change, but they don't change that much. It was still like everyone wants it next day. They want it there. They want it set up. And, our standards, we didn't want to drop that. We still wanted to be able to give customers what they wanted at the right time, and the guitars set up, the way that we like to do things. So we managed to, work our way through it. But like I say, it was tough. So.
Yeah, man. I can imagine. And here, I do know here in the U.S., May jumped up, like online sales jumped up like 17.7%, which was a huge jump. So, did you guys going into April and May? Were you just shipping a lot of people, a lot of instruments and gear to people locally, or did your international sales jump up as well?
Yeah. It was, it went up kind of everywhere. We started selling more stuff, all over the world, into Europe, and also a lot more kind of local business as well. We're getting a lot of people that obviously couldn't go away on vacation, so they're spending money on exercise equipment, on guitars, on improving their homes. And when the lockdown first happened, I thought, right, I need to buy some weights for the garage, to do some stuff, so I can, just try and keep my hand in, because I love going to the gym just for like a bit of a release, So there's these times when you just get there, you do it, and your mind is off work just for a bit, and I love doing that. So, but I went on there, and you could not find any gym equipment.
Yeah, same here.
It was weeks. It was like 6 to 8 weeks delivery, and the price of everything just absolutely shot through the roof on all the basic dumbbells and all the stuff that I wanted to buy. But so then we started to see the knock-on effect of that stock just become harder and harder to get as well, because Fender went through shutdowns, PRS, Gibson obviously had a lot of issues that they had to deal with as well. So it has been tough, and we've found our way to do it. And at the end of January, just obviously last month, we just did our biggest ever Fender order, and I think there was nearly 700 guitars that we ordered. To get through to. But all that stuff is going to take till probably September, October to get.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we don't get those orders in, like, now is so important. My day is basically spent all day just chasing distributors and suppliers, just trying to get stock.
Yeah.
Because it's just become so difficult to do it now.
Yeah, the supply chains have just drastically changed.
Oh,
so I know last year, I mean, I think a lot of companies decided, they're like, hold on, don't stop making guitars. Not anticipating that everybody would want to buy guitars, and then they go, well, hold on, wait, start making guitars. But at that point in time, it created an entire dip in the supply chain.
I completely get it. I completely get it, because when that lockdown first happened, I was really worried. It was like, we're moving home. We've just signed up this lovely big mortgage. We're moving home. We've got staff members, we've got this, we've got that, we've got big overheads, and I was worried, because you think that's going to be the last thing that people want to spend their money on. But it turns out, I'm not the only one that needs a release from my work. Lots of people, they love getting home, they love playing guitar. People that used to play have now kind of got back into it again, and it's just great what some of the suppliers have done, and some of the manufacturers, like what Fender did with their Fender Play thing, and opened that up for free membership that they did, and free subscriptions for a while. That was great. I mean, it's well known that Fender have had their best year ever in 2020, and I say congratulations to them, because what they did with that Fender Play thing was genius, I thought. So it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I'll tell you what, you look at some of the Fender line and the Squire line, and I'm telling you, they're just killing it. They're killing it. They make great instruments. They hit a wide variety of of people from beginners to experts and
there is a guitar, in that Fender lineup. If you're going to include the brands that the other brands that they work with, like Charvel, Jackson, obviously EVH and Gretsch as well, there is a guitar there for everyone.
Yes,
they've got it covered.
Charvel's always had a sweet spot in my heart. I love Charvel guitars.
Great.
Yeah. So during that time, I mean, what could you pinpoint one thing that you did that just drastically changed? You guys have a great social media presence. Was that something you guys really leaned into through last spring going into the summer that kind of really catapulted you forward?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a few areas that we knew were working really well for us, and we knew that basically if we wanted to keep this keep this steady kind of expansion happening that we've been seeing, that we had to just keep driving it home and keep doing it the right way, still doing it the Peach way, but not kind of all of a sudden, just going, right, we're just going to release, 50 videos a week now. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. We just wanted that steady growth that we kind of experienced, and try and change a few things around, like one of the biggest and most important things that we changed in terms of our website and the presentation of our stock was we now photograph every guitar over £300 individually. So if you wanted to, talking about, some of the Squires, like some of their guitars that they do now, literally just before I came on the line with you, I was in here with Adam, our photographer, or one of our photographers, and he was like, "Look at the, look at this grain on this Squire.
Yeah,
the grain on this Tele Custom is just out of this world." But the thing is, we had 10 just arrived last week. So now, if you want to buy a classic vibe Tele Custom, you're going to go on our website. You're going to be able to choose the exact one that you get, and you can choose by the weight as well, which is obviously a massive factor for a lot of guitar players. They love to have, we all want the lightest guitar possible.
Yeah, sure.
That's the fact. Everybody seems to want the lightest one, and but we're trying to cater for those needs and putting that extra effort in. I really feel that customers get more trust in us, and they don't just think that we're just trying to sell custom shop Fenders and Gibsons. We really, really care about the next generation coming through. The next guys, they might be buying a Tele Custom from Squire now, but if we look after those guys well, they're going to be coming back for the custom shop Strats and the 2-Rock amps and the Dr. Z's and all that stuff. So we can't just, we love all of our long time, collectors and buyers that we've been dealing with for a long time, but we've just got to keep, the rest of the industry moving forward. So so really changing the way that we present the more budget stuff has really, really kind of added a lot of value to the business, and has obviously, really, really worked with the customers. So
I'll tell you what, man, this whole last section of you talking for the last couple of minutes is a big deal that I hope our listeners can kind of glean from. So, you guys are ahead of the curve. You guys are doing what it takes to be able to reach the buyer on multiple levels. I mean, you said 300 pounds. I'm not sure exactly what that is in dollars.
So it's probably about $400.
$400. Yeah, $400 and up. So
and that's including tax. Sorry to interrupt there. That's the tax inclusive price. So
yeah. So, but you're doing what you need to do to be able to reach those buyers, and that's a trend that's going to happen. And so, what I'm saying is other music stores, regardless of their size, have got to start reaching people on that level.
Yeah. Well, I can't help but have huge admiration for Sweetwater.
Yeah, sure.
And the way that they've done their business. We're certainly not turning our back on our store at all, but there is exponential growth that you can have online, obviously.
Yeah.
So there will be some changes moving forward, even if tomorrow the whole world was vaccinated, against COVID, and we didn't have it anymore, things are going to change forever. We can't all of a sudden change back to what we're doing, going from what we're doing now back to how it was before, because the whole world has changed, and retail buying and retail's retail buyers' habits have changed.
Absolutely.
And what hopefully in the last year, what we've really kind of done is hopefully established more of a reputation. So, if you are nervous about being a first-time online purchaser, you normally go to your local store to buy a guitar, and perhaps they don't have that brand because it's a smaller brand, and they don't, they don't have access to it. We're trying to, instill that confidence in customers. So if they do buy a £300 guitar off us or a £3,000 guitar off us, they're going to get the same guys setting the guitars up. They're going to get the full set of photos.
Mm-hmm.
And, this, when we have our meetings about the marketing side of things and how we, and how we do stuff on the website and how we market ourselves, we sometimes, I feel that we don't really shout from the rooftops about some of the stuff that we really do into when you purchase a guitar from us. We've shifted a lot of boxes,
Mm-hmm.
but we are not box shifters. That is not our kind of mantra at all. There are fantastic companies that do that, but I can't bear the thought of us sending out a guitar into the world to a customer, to you, to anybody, and it not being checked by someone first.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like everyone has their own personal preference of how they want a guitar to play. Some guys want Stevie Ray's action, with the strings and the heavy strings and all that stuff. And some people want it, the other side of the fretboard.
Yeah.
They want it super close. So, with our setups and stuff, we try and get every guitar to go out so it doesn't buzz, but it plays well. And, as soon as you open it up, you're like, yeah, I'm digging it. Or I'll just take it to my tech and get him to do a few little tweaks and stuff and kind of, and make it kind of nice to how I particularly like it. But
yeah,
that's where we are, we're kind of trying to establish ourselves from everyone else. We just choose the best stock, and we just try and give the best advice to customers that we can. And then when it comes to it and people trust us with their hard-earned money, they're going to get the best possible guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the cheapest. I want to be the best.
Yes.
There's always going to be someone cheaper than you.
Mm-hmm.
But, what we do, we take pride in. And, we don't always get it right because we're human.
Yes.
And things do go wrong sometimes. Yeah. But unfortunately, when things do go wrong, it's normally an absolute catastrophe. But, we're all human. And a lot of the time, these things are out of our hands because a courier's, kicked it across the length of a field or something like that.
Drop kicking a box off the back of a delivery truck must be a sport in some places. Because
it really is amazing. I mean, sometimes, we've packaged up guitars because we're like, right, it's got, these notorious for snapping headstocks. So let's put loads of bubble wrap around it, make sure that we loosen the strings, we do this, we double box it, make sure that it goes out there, gets delivered, headstock broken.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get another guy who returns their guitar, for under a warranty or something like that. He's bought it 9 months ago, sends it back, and he sends it back in the hard case with a label.
Yeah.
Just on the case, and it turns up and it's completely fine.
Uh-huh.
And you think, how do you legislate for that?
Yeah. Man, it wasn't too long ago though. Man, you can remember the times where people that, the consensus was like, oh, I would never buy a nice guitar online. People were like, I just can't do that. I want to feel it. I want to hold it. And like going back to what you said earlier, things have shifted. People's mindsets have changed on what they're willing to buy online now. And it's crazy. You see people buying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 guitars online like it's nothing now.
Oh, absolutely.
They still might be picky. They still might want to get something in and feel it. And obviously you want to have customer service that would kind of deal with that. But my point, adding on to yours is that the world has just completely opened up and
totally.
It still baffles me that we still have, here in the States, still have music stores that are not selling online. And the people that are struggling or they go, what should I do? We talk to a lot of stores. Man, one of the things is like, well, what are you selling online? Well, and it's crazy. Their first reaction is, well, I just use online to kind of dump stuff that's been sitting for a while. And it's like the first thing you got to redirect them is no, you're missing out. That's not how things work anymore.
No, no, no way. I mean, there's going to be, you know, the whole thing when I bought the business off of Derek, the guy that used to own Peach Guitars. That's where the name comes from. Derek Peachy was his name. So that's where it all comes from. But he hated selling guitars online.
Yeah.
He was like, I have no, I'm way past this now. I'm not comfortable with moving in the direction that it is. So, I'll hand it over to some new blood to do it, because he was just not, that customer. But
Yeah.
I still talk to Derek a lot now, and and he's adapted. He's buying camera equipment online, or this or online or whatever, and it's and it is it is an ever-changing world, and you do have to adapt to that. And retail, you've just got to kind of be on it all the time. So,
man, so on your side of the ocean, you had a little something else that was going on as well. Talk to me a little bit about Brexit and how you guys have dealt with that.
Oh, well, this is literally about half an hour before we've spoken here. We've just had our first Gibson shipment come through. So Gibson have an operation in Holland, which handles their European distribution. But basically what happened, so the UK left the single market. Well, it was actually January of 2020 officially, but the changes happened. We had basically a year to figure out everything, basically. So we got a year to get it all figured out. And I can't remember the exact date, but it was right at the end of December when the deal was done.
Yeah.
But anyway, this and the deal, the deal is like, a super complicated agreement. So I'm not going to pretend I know everything about it. But in terms of what affects us, Boris Johnson was like, yes, we've got the deal. This is done. There's going to be the free movement of goods. We're going to be able to trade with our European brothers and our European sisters. It's going to be great. But the problem is 90% or probably 95% of the things that we sell, or the really, really desirable musical instruments, amps, pedals, etc., aren't made in Europe. I mean, we sell some fabulous guitars from Loudon, Huber, Patrick Eggle. I'm sorry if I'm missing any others out, but I'm just trying to think right now. Sure. But so basically, if we send a guitar to a customer in Germany and they buy, say, a Huber guitar off of me, so now or in 2020 and before, they would pay the price including tax. So it was 20% in the UK. So they would purchase the guitar, we would send it to them, they would receive the guitar, and that's like done. That's end of transaction, apart from the customer service side of things, etc., etc. So now, if this same customer in Germany buys let's say a Fender, a USA Fender guitar off us, so now they don't pay the UK VAT of 20%. They pay it when it lands in Germany, which I believe is 20% as well.
Oh my.
But now it also attracts a separate tax, a duty, which is what Boris Johnson talked about in the free movement of goods. You wasn't supposed to attract that duty rate. So it's fine if we sell a European-made product, like a Mayonnaise guitar that's made in Poland. Sorry, I forgot you guys earlier when I just said it.
Yeah.
But or a Loudon, all that stuff. So we send them there. They still don't pay the UK tax. They have to pay it when it lands in their country.
Okay.
Some tax rates are at 18%, and some countries are about 22%. So it averages around about 20%. So in theory, the actual VAT isn't any more, but you're paying this extra duty, which works out to be anywhere between sort of 2 and 4%. But of course, the couriers charge a fee for handling all this stuff for you as well.
Yes.
So there's, it's been difficult to get equipment as well, because we had 4 or 5 humongous Fender shipments that, they come from Fender Europe, so from Holland again. They just got to the UK border and were just stuck for 3 or 4 weeks, because there was just this overnight change where the paperwork was all, there hardly was any paperwork before.
Yeah.
You would send a guitar to Europe and it would just get there. You didn't need commercial invoices or anything like that. It would just turn up at the customer's house. UPS guy would knock on the door and that's it. But now it's the paperwork side of things it's just killed it.
Yeah.
And really slowed things right down. So not only have we had COVID to deal with, we've had Brexit to deal with as well. But we're smiling our way through it and just getting on with it.
That's right. So what did you find? Like, what final decisions did you make to handle Brexit so that you could keep moving forward? I mean, I got a good grasp of everything you just said, but did that affect, like, you're just not selling as much, or you're selling more?
No, we're probably selling more actually at the moment, because stock is still hard to get.
Yeah.
And we've got a really good inventory at the moment. We've got a lot of stuff on order. So, and a lot of the stuff that we still sell is the harder to get equipment and the rarer stuff as well. So people will hunt it out, and and just have to, and you have to pay the taxes, the extra taxes and stuff. But I guess the biggest issue that we saw right at the start was customers purchasing stuff and then just not realizing that the tax wasn't included, even though it said on all of our invoices, it says on the website. When people are super excited and they're entering the numbers, they're buying, they're really happy, and then all of a sudden they get the guy from DHL or UPS in their country saying, you owe us £400 and for this and this. That's when they're not happy. So you've got to communicate that well. You've got to there's going to be loads more law changes, I would imagine, and a load more kind of extra paperwork and filing that needs to be done to keep the movement of the goods happening. But we're employing more people to help with all that stuff. But it is difficult, and it's just not easy to get the advice either. There wasn't when these changes were announced right at the end of December. It's not like, hey, limited companies, if you sell, this is what you need to do. This is concrete. You do this or you get fined. It almost felt like, right, get on with it, see how you get on. There's going to be some kinks in the road. There's going to be some problems, but we'll give you this little bit of a grace period to get it right. But it's been some hard work, and there's been some angry customers that didn't realize, there's been things coming back and things getting stuck at customs depots and stuff. But, we're working our way through it. There's always setbacks in business, but we just have to kind of overcome it. So
and I agree. I realize with Brexit, you guys are staring at something that you just are forced to deal with. But I think a lot, pretty much every time, I'm going to say 100% of the time, just being honest about things over a period of time, it works their way out, because it's not just your store that's dealing with that; it's everybody.
Exactly.
And so everybody starts realizing, okay, I see, I've got to, if I'm going to purchase something, I'm going to have to deal with this. So being honest with it and upfront in everything you're doing is the right thing to do, and it'll work itself out.
And being honest, we couldn't honestly say, you can say to a customer, you're going to have to pay whatever your VAT rate is in your country. But you honestly can't say what the processing fee is that UPS or DHL are going to charge the customer. Because it seems to be, we're starting to receive goods from Europe now, and we're being charged different processing fees each time as well. So these things will have to become harmonized and be some sort of general fixed fee, because I just don't think the customs agents can really keep up and handle it themselves either. It's a really tough setback for everyone, but it's going to have to happen. So
yeah, absolutely. How have you guys dealt with shipping companies on your end? I mean, obviously, whether you use UPS or FedEx or DHL or whoever, their workload skyrocketed over 2020. So they're sitting there assessing their business, raising prices like crazy to offset everything that's going on. What did you guys do to kind of balance that out and still make it work?
Well, I mean, we just again, it's just honesty, just talking to our customers and saying we're entering into the unknown right now. and right at the very towards the last few days in December, most of the couriers suspended their road services. So basically, we just ended up upgrading every customer so that we could try and get their goods to them before the end of December.
Okay.
And we just sent everything air freight, basically, in the end. And it cost me a lot more money, but the customers were super happy to get their gear before the changes happened, and there was no complications with paperwork or anything like that. But obviously, once we went past, the 1st of January, the road services opened back up again. So obviously, it's far cheaper for us to send a guitar to France via road than it is via air, obviously. And so the road services opened up again. But there was just such a huge backlog, and we just had to say to customers, look, here's the tracking. We can see as much as what you can. It will arrive with you, but it's just going to be, a longer procedure. But we've got to take it on the chin. We can't then go to customers as well. Oh, by the way, shipping's got a lot more expensive now, as well, because we're trying to still keep our European customers happy as well. So it's going to affect our margin, basically. The biggest effect it's going to have is the extra paperwork. It's going to affect our margin, and we're going to have a lot of annoyed customers that are waiting, an extra few days for their guitars or amps or whatever. So
yeah, I know, man. It's a juggling match. I mean, juggling match. I don't know. I don't even know if they have matches for juggling. I don't know why.
I know what you meant.
Yeah,
I knew what you meant.
But so obviously all that was going on, and so now I'd love to jump into the good stuff. 2021's here. Man, what are your guys' plans? What do you guys hope to achieve this year? Man, what's on the agenda?
We want to keep kind of growing kind of organically. We don't want to sort of, I'm not going to go and start, buying extra buildings and, like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We try and do everything carefully and well thought out, and try and do things that we know that customers are asking for. And, and we do our research on what everyone else does as well. We don't go down a blind alley thinking, no, let's just throw a load of money at this and hoping it's going to work. I know Ryan did mention something to you about a nice piece of German machinery that I've got on order.
Remind me of what that is again. Sorry.
Am I allowed to say what it is yet? Maybe I need to tell you off air.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to announce it soon anyway. But
okay.
We're doing basically. My whole plan is that I just want us to offer the best quality guitars, pedals, and everything else that goes along with it, and just the best service. We want to be able to, safely say that we can send out the best possible examples of those guitars, on the market. And like I say, I have no, interest in being the absolute cheapest. We want to be the best. We're always, up there and as competitive as possible. Yeah. But I just don't think it's healthy to have a team of guys that just sit on Google all day doing price matching and all that kind of stuff. We will do things organically. We set our margins where we can sustain what we're trying to do. We check over every Squire that comes in, right through to every private stock PRS. Every guitar that we send out goes through the same process. Yeah. Some customer requests obviously take a little bit longer. If a guy uses, wants a guitar setting up from 9s to 11s and it has a Floyd Rose on it, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Sure. Yeah.
But as long as we communicate with the customers, they're going to get the great guitar that they deserve at the end of it. And that's basically it. We just want to be the best. I know that's a very simplified term, just to say to be the best, but we want to make the experience great for people. Peach Guitars isn't like a whole board. We haven't got a board of directors that we have to report back to. We are a family business that still loves guitars. We love music. Everyone that works here, music is their life. This is what we, and we're all friends outside of the workplace. It's a great atmosphere, and it's a real shame that we can't all be together, working at the moment, because we've got a lot of staff working from home and stuff. But, I have to do everything that I can to keep everyone safe
Yeah.
at the moment. So,
Yeah. Man, you have to respect that. You have to respect
yeah,
that. I mean, it's
yeah,
just like I was saying earlier, you got to reach, potential buyers on that level anymore. Just throwing up stock photos, price matching, those days are over.
no,
Those days are over. But also, I think what's probably important in this too is probably the relationships that you have with the manufacturers too, as well. Them
absolutely.
wanting to support you, having good communication with them, constantly, wanting to stay stocked up in their products. I mean,
Yeah,
how has
yeah.
that helped you?
I mean, it's like it. I mean, it just seems really simple and obvious to me. If you put in plenty of orders, have great relationships with your suppliers, and you just, pardon my French, you just don't be a dick to them.
It's
These are
amazing how
two
that
way.
works.
Yeah, it's a two-way street here.
Uh-huh.
With the stock situation, people that pay their bills and that are nice,
Hmm.
it really does help sometimes
Yeah.
in terms of getting stock. There's going to be, instances, and I mustn't call anyone out on it or give any examples because I'll get them in trouble.
Yeah, we won't do
But
that here. Yeah.
yeah, but it just makes a difference. It makes such a difference. And like, I've been dealing with customers and suppliers, that I've been dealing with since I first got started when I was 16, and
Yeah.
I'm 38 now, and I've still been, that's the thing with this industry. It's a small industry. The customers get to know you well, the suppliers, you get to know them well, and a lot of these guys, they change companies. And okay, this particular person from a company, you might not do that much business with them now, but one day that rep or that business development manager might get the top job at Fender or at
Hmm.
Gibson,
Absolutely.
and you're going to need them, and you're
Yeah.
going to need them, and they're going to need you. So what we do is all built on relationships. It's kind of, it seems basic, but I do think a lot of people overlook those, the simple things about being a human being
Mhm.
sometimes as well.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Man, those are great words. So, but moving forward, I think the music industry is potentially, man, I'm saying with my fingers crossed, is excited
Mm.
about NAM this summer and potentially in next winter. So, are you
Yeah,
guys hoping it's going to happen? Is that something you guys would attend?
yeah, absolutely. I think uh, I'm not. I know that they're saying that Summer NAM is happening, aren't
That
they?
that's what they're saying.
Yeah. I guess we would love to, but obviously, if I go or I take any of the staff, we would have to be confident in obviously whatever the procedures are
Yeah,
in getting to Nashville,
yeah.
obviously, and what do we need to do to get there, and is everyone happy to go, and
Hmm.
does everyone feel safe? I mean, I haven't ever done the summer NAM before. It's always been, going to the NAM show in January. Going to California is
Hmm.
always a very, very big pull
Oh.
because it's like, we've had, the really busy time. It's freezing cold in
Hmm.
England, and you think, oh yes, we're going to get a week in California. So it was like, aside from, obviously the business stuff that happens at NAM, obviously, we couldn't go, but it was
Yeah,
such a
sure.
shame to miss out on seeing all of our friends and getting that lovely bit of warm weather, going down to Huntington Beach and stuff and having
Hmm.
some cool times down there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm hopeful for, obviously, for January next year. I think
Hmm.
that's probably a lot more realistic, but the NAM guys know better than me. If they think they can put together a really good show in the summer, maybe it just becomes a more of a domestic type NAM show, and there's a merger of the online, what we saw this
Yeah.
January, and a physical presence as well. I kind of feel that that's kind of how it's going to become, but you know, don't get me wrong, I would love to be straight back
Yeah.
out to Nashville.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I know it, and that's the anticipation, or that's the hope that people would like to go. Okay, we haven't had two NAMs last summer and this past winter. I think people are eager to jump in and just want to be a part of it. The community wants to come together, but of course, we've got to be safe. We got to be smart and realistic about
Exactly.
things that
Yeah.
are going on. And
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I hope summer works out. I don't know anything. I just know what NAM has actually said. They've set dates and said that they're
Yeah.
going to follow protocols, and so. we'll see what that looks like. But man, it would be great to see you in person if we all ended up showing up there. So
I'd really, really love to to come out sooner rather than later, and I'm really excited to see what Gibson are doing with their Gibson Garage. And
oh yeah, it's supposed to be March. I think March they're releasing that.
I went down to the offices because we went there in February last year, because we come back from NAMM, and it was literally right before COVID really affected the whole world. We went in February and we picked out a load of tops at the Gibson Custom Shop, and Cesar and JC took me down to the new facility and stuff, and we checked that all out, and it was like great fun. And yeah, it was really, really great. I mean, they're such good guys to work with, but little did we know, a month later, everyone's lives would change forever.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
So yeah, but I love Nashville. It's a great place, and I've got a lot of friends there as well. I was talking to you about it earlier, Wes, that's Revolta Novo and all those guys there. So I'm itching to get back. I love Nashville, the music there, the food, the bars and everything and stuff. But they're definitely two of my favorite places to go, to Nashville and California.
Well, and if you did come to Summer NAMM, you could come here in the middle of July when it's 93 and it feels great outside.
Yeah. I know it's coming from Britain. I certainly never moan about the extra heat. I just soak it all in and just get sweaty and horrible.
Absolutely. Well, John, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's crazy. We're coming up almost on an hour in this, and I know, man, I'd love to just sit and talk about everything.
Yeah.
So, but man, this is a great introduction. We have a lot of respect for your store and a lot of what you do. It's impressive. And everybody needs to go. Yeah, it's peachguitars.com.
That's the one.
Yeah, peachguitars.com. And of course, if you've listened to this episode, you'll know they'll take absolutely great care of you. Check it out. Let it be a resource. But John, before we part, any last thing you want to say or let people know?
Yeah, just say, I just want to really say that any of our customers or any potential new customers that are listening to this or watching this, I just want to say, thanks for trusting us. Over the course of, since I've had the shop, we've had, I've built some fantastic relationships with customers and suppliers. And I just want them to know, that we are a family business. We try as hard as we can. And all we're interested in is getting the best possible guitars into their hands and finding the best, equipment we can. We're as passionate about it as they are. Like I say, we're not a board of directors. We are, we're down on, I was, yesterday we had one of our busiest days ever, and I was in the tech room setting up guitars, getting them out the door and getting stuff done. So apologies if anyone received anything set up by me. No, only joking, but we're all doing it. We're down there. We're all helping each other out. And that's what counts to me. So, and apologies, anyone else that's listening to this, and I've kind of taken this over and not stopped talking. But
no, that's great.
It's you can see. Hopefully everyone can see that we're passionate about what we do.
Yes.
And like I say, we don't always get it right, but the way that we deal with that is. We can sort things out. So
that's right. No. It was great to just be able to have a great conversation with you. You're one of the great stores on the globe, and so we just recognize that, and we appreciate that. So, but John, man, I appreciate it. I'd love to extend an invitation. Every guest that we have on, a lot of times we want to check in 6-9 months, or once a year, just to stay in touch and be connected to the community. And so if we can do that later on, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be my pleasure.
Okay, man, I appreciate it, John.
The Music Retail Show is brought to you by MIRC LLC, providing solutions for the musical instrument community by being a reliable source for diverse music products. If you need inventory for your music store, pawn shop, or e-commerce site, go to mircweb.com to find out more.